Hi, I'm a DocuSign University trainer. Today I'll be showing you how to view your completed agreements using DocuSign Navigator. DocuSign Navigator is a platform service that is one piece of DocuSign's intelligent agreement management platform. DocuSign Navigator is a centralized agreement repository and a single source of truth for all of your completed documents. Agreements enter Navigator automatically after an e-signature envelope is completed. Agreements can also be uploaded manually directly into Navigator. Navigator uses the power of AI, artificial intelligence, to automatically locate and extract information, keywords, and clauses from each agreement and uses that information to fill in attributes, metadata, on the document. You can then view these attributes to search for and review your agreements faster. Navigator also makes it easy to monitor your upcoming renewals and obligations for contracts. To access Navigator, click on the Agreements tab in your top navigation, and then access the completed folder for your agreements. You'll see a drop-down for Documents. The other option from this drop-down is Envelopes, which will just show you your completed e-signature envelopes. Documents, however, will allow you to utilize the power of Navigator to review any of the AI suggestions for attributes on documents that have been added. All users can access DocuSign Navigator, but by default, users will only see their completed agreements in Navigator. Administrators can grant users access to view all completed agreements. This can be done from the individual user's profile, Navigator Access, View All Agreements in this account. This can also be done from the user group. Here I have a Human Resources group, Navigator Access. Same thing, I can select View All Agreements in this account. When a document enters Navigator, AI will begin processing the agreement. AI will first determine the agreement type for the agreement. For example, is it a services agreement, a non-disclosure agreement, or maybe an order entry form? There are standard agreement types that are created out of the box, and you can also create your own custom agreement types. Now, the agreement type is important because it will inform the AI as to which keywords, dates, or phrases are likely to be found in the agreement. Each of these pieces of metadata is an attribute. DocuSign AI will then search the agreement for the appropriate attributes and populate the attribute with the attribute value that it discovered in the text of the agreement. For example, maybe it found for the effective date that the value is January 1st, 2026. Or maybe it found for governing law that the value is the state of New York. These values can then be confirmed by contract reviewers to review them for accuracy and can then be used in searches and in reporting. Looking at the completed documents table within Navigator, we can see a list of all of our completed agreements and some of the applied attributes here in the columns. Now, if a purple star or purple highlight appears, that means that this document has some AI suggestions for attributes that require review. To review an agreement, we can click on the title of the agreement, and this brings us to the agreement preview. From the Details panel, we can choose the pencil to review the suggestions. Now, any changes that we make to the attribute values are not going to change any of the content in the actual document. These are simply attributes that have been applied to the agreement. To review a suggestion and accept it, you can choose the checkbox. You can also change the value if necessary. You can even click on a suggestion and view in yellow highlight where exactly the AI found that value. We can also fill in any attributes that were perhaps missed or not filled in by the AI. Once we're done, we can easily go ahead and click Save down at the bottom to save those attributes, and then go back out to the main completed documents table. So from the completed documents table, we can do a search to locate agreements. We can search based off of keyword. For example, if I type Fontara, it's going to give me results that contain Fontara in the title of the document, in the body of any of the documents, or in any of the attribute values that have been applied. I can clear my search by clicking the X. We can also use any of the attributes as filters. For example, maybe I want to filter based on party, and I only want to see documents that have Fontara selected as the party. You can stack multiple filters as well. If I click all filters, I can see any of the options that are available for filtering. These are all of the different attributes. So maybe I'll look for agreement type and I'll search for any of my service agreements, service level agreements, or MSAs. So now I have two filters. The only documents that appear are documents that meet both of these filtering criteria. We can clear our search by clicking the X on the filters. When looking at the completed documents table, we can adjust the columns that appear in the grid by using the gear icon here to the right. We can turn certain columns on or off as we don't need them, or maybe we do need them. We can also rearrange columns by dragging and dropping. Save. Once we have the grid looking the way that we want, you can easily select all of the documents on the table, and you have the option to export the table results to a CSV if you want to view this information in a spreadsheet, or you can even download all of these documents to your computer into a zip file. So now that we've seen the basics of how to utilize Navigator and search for documents in Navigator, you're now ready to start using it.